Hi there, Sav. Hope you're having good travels this week. This is your video lesson. If you have any questions at the end of this or want me to take a look at anything, feel free to send over a question or a short video, or if you want me to look at something, I don't mind at all. Like I said, I'd much rather have you ask me a question during the week than be frustrated. So cool. I'll go down the list and we'll go from there. So first thing is tablature. This is another form of writing down music for the guitar. In rock and pop and all the different popular styles, this is primarily the way that it is written down if it's not like a chord chart with a bunch of chord symbols. So it's important for us to learn how to read this, read these things. All right, so what I'll do is I've taken the liberty of writing out this handout for you, and I'll send a copy over with this email and turn this fan away to the other direction so there's blowing papers everywhere. So you have tablature, right? There are, if you count them, 6 lines right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, right? And I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together, and they are the strings of the guitar, right? Now, the question is, which one's which, right? This one down here, this lower one on the paper, is your thick string, is this one right here, right? And then this one up here, the highest line, is going to be your thin string. That's this guy right here. I used to say high and low, but that would confuse people because when I say, oh, it's on the low string of the guitar, people would think in terms of space, like this being lower than this, right? And they go, oh, the low string. Well, no, this is lower in pitch. So that's why we call it the low string, and we call this the highest string. So down, up, up, down. If that isn't confusing for you, don't think about it too much. I try not to. So up, down, up, down. Try explaining that to like a 12-year-old. Their head goes like, wait, this, what are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. So I try not to think about it too much. Right. So anyway, repeat after me. The number is the fret. Very good. The number is the fret. That's important to remember that in this system of writing down music, we are using numbers right here. We're not getting any of the rhythms that you do from standard notation that you're used to seeing when you're younger. This is assuming that you have a recording of it somewhere and then you're listening to it and you just need to figure out where to put your fingers, right? That's like what this system of writing is assuming. Right? I have seen it before where it's kind of combining the rhythms in there too, as standard notation would be, but that's not as common as just having just a string of numbers. Like go to Ultimate Guitar or Songster, you're gonna find like it like this. Actually, I take back. Songster and Ultimate Guitar will have in the Pro versions will have with the rhythms in there. But we can talk about that more as we kind of progress through things. So as you repeat it after me, the number is the fret, not the finger number necessarily. It is just a happy coincidence that these numbers are also like the fingers that you use, but they are representing the fret that you're on, right? Later on up here, that won't be a point of confusion. So if you look right here, the first set of numbers I have a 0 and I have a 3. I'm gonna go over here and hit the 6th string, the thick string, because that's the side it's on, 0, right? And then I'm gonna put my 3rd finger, because remember, this is a happy coincidence. It's just that it happens today that we're going to use the 3rd finger. It has nothing to do with the numbers. 0, and then 3, right? So 0, 3, and when I pick that, I try to rest on the string below to give myself some space. That's not always the case. It's just for right now until you get comfortable with like picking and things like that. So I would take my pick and rest it on the string below, right? So you have 0, and we have 3. The next number is going to be 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3. Make sure I wrote that correctly there. Sometimes I have sloppy handwriting, so if you ever can't read anything that I wrote down, you're not gonna insult me by asking me to what does that say. Sometimes I have to go back and decipher my own writing. All right, I'm gonna try that one more time. So I'm just gonna play down the numbers they have written on here. I'm assuming you have that printed out and following along. 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 3. And then you can play it backwards. 3, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0. Okay? And if you put all that together, you have what's called the E minor pentatonic scale. right? It's an E minor scale, and it's pentatonic, pent meaning 5, tonic meaning note. It's a 5-note scale. We just have some redundancy, so we're playing like the same note like 2 times because we're going to try to use the whole range of that position on the guitar. Now, why on earth would I bother showing you this right here? And why would I want to teach an adult student boring scales? Is because, so like, when we improvise or play melodies on the guitar, basically they are just, melodies and riffs are just scales played out of order, right? Notes out of order. So you know what it is. So if you know the scale and you know where all the notes are, it's going to reduce the amount of time you have to kind of hunt and peck for the different notes that you're looking for. If you're looking to jam with some friends and you know, oh, I know the E minor pentatonic scale, I know the scale will work with this song, you can like maybe play a little melody on top of it and improvise and jam. That happens all the time, like in backyard barbecue hookups. Like, you know, that's my friends would get together and get our guitars out. We wouldn't just play the chords, like one person would take a lead and take a solo, and we would just take turns doing that. So it's important to know where these notes are on your guitar and be able to play these, because that's how you create. You must first learn how a hammer works if you want to learn how to use it correctly, right? So using this right here, I have this backing track going. It's kind of, think of it like as guitar karaoke, right? So you can look online and you look up E minor backing track, and you go on YouTube and look it up, and you'll find like a billion of them. And you just practice just going up and down. Just don't, you know, yeah, like practice it like by itself, but if you practice with a backing track, it's gonna be way more interesting and more fun. If you practice just the scale by itself, if you find that entertaining, you know, awesome, go for it. But I would find myself prefer to use backing tracks. You go to YouTube, type in E minor backing track, and then you'll play this against it. You know, sound nice, so like this. And then later on, when you get comfortable with it, probably the next lesson or so, I'll teach you what are called sequencing patterns. They're just like little patterns that you can play. They're repetitive. And if I take E minor pentatonic and expand upon it, and I'm not changing the scale at all, it's still the same scale. You can create with it and create little melodies, and also to learn some riffs, some great classic rock riffs that are strips, E minor pentatonic scale. I think one I was doing the other day was Alice in Chains' Man in the Box, right? It was just nothing but E minor pentatonic scale, and the student learned it so much quicker because he knew where that pattern where all those notes were, rather than having to hunt and peck for everything. He actually figured it out without barely me showing him anything. I just told him what scale it was, and he's like, oh, there it is, I found it, right? So it greatly reduces the learning time, right? Any tool that does that is worth learning, right? All right, cool. So work on that this week. Memorize that for me. That way you're not going, oh, where is it over here? It's over here, no, it's over here, right? Memorize that box right there for me. Just go up and down with a backing track, right? If you need help finding one, if you can't find one at all, just send me a message. I'll send one. Or actually, I may even send one with this video too. That way you have it. All right. Cool. Part 2 is Wild Thing Part 2. I'm assuming that this week you were getting down that. If you want to send a video of you playing that, I would love to see, so I can see how the chords are progressing. I'm not sure if you took a guitar with you or not, but if you get a chance, please send over a video of you playing that. I would love to see. This is part 2. This is the Wild Thing, I think I love you. But I want to know for sure, and that's that part of the song. He does it 4 times in the song. 2, 3, back 2. Right, so the chord in there that you have is a G chord. Let me write this up for you. I forgot a couple details. All it is just G, A, G, A. Now, sounds easy on paper, right? Oh, it's just 2 chords back and forth. But as you're probably finding out, switching chords is the most challenging thing, and we need to talk about that next time. Some tips and tricks to switch chords faster. Remind me to do that next time, right? So Just practice going from G, A, G, A. This is tricky because the G chord is probably the toughest one that we'll have for right now. There are tougher ones, but this would just be probably the hardest one we have for the next few months. So you have your third finger here on the first string, on the highest string. Got your second finger here on the sixth string, on the third fret. And you got your first finger here on the second fret of the fifth string, right? And what you want to practice doing is A, and then the G is kind of like, if you can do this, right, that's kind of what's happening here when you switch to the G chord, is that you have to split these two fingers, land this, and you get this guy here for free, because he comes along with the first finger, he's tied in there. So here, and then think of this, watch this finger split, and the first finger comes along for the ride, you get that guy for free, right? Here, and you split the fingers, and then back again. So practice that transition, because this one, up to speed, can be kind of a little quick one. So, and you wait a minute, why on earth would you teach someone who's starting out that quick switch? And for that answer, you'll have to come back for next time. But for this week, practice those two sections of Wild Thing. Next week, what we'll do is we'll put all that together. I'll show you why I gave you such a hard chord switch. Ha 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 ha. And then we'll go from there, and we'll do some stuff with tablature as well. So I'll teach you some musical ideas you can do with the tab. Awesome. Well, if you have any questions, I look forward to seeing you same time next week. Take care. Bye.